Okay. Well, hi, Allison. Thanks for joining me today.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Yes, I'm really appreciative that you were willing to spend a couple minutes with me talking about your experience.
No problem.
Can we just start by talking a little bit about what inspired you or what motivated you to seek out a hypnotherapy session and make an appointment?
Well, I started having some sleep issues, and with those sleep issues, as they progressed, I started feeling anxious and little bits of sadness here and there. And I knew that this was starting to affect me more than just my sleep. So, after listening to so many of your guided meditations online, I reached out and I said, you know what, I think I need to schedule a hypnotherapy session
Mhm.
so that I can benefit from, your skills and your knowledge and your information. So I did.
Great. So primarily sleep or insomnia was the reason that you were seeking
Yes.
out.
Yes.
Okay. And
Yes.
tell me a little bit about your experience. Paint a picture of, before, during, and after the session.
Well, before I was super excited. I I couldn't believe that I was actually having a session with you, the lady I listen to every night. And then during the session, I really felt like a weight had been lifted. I felt lighter. I felt like I had. It was that I can't put a finger on exactly the feeling, but it was just
Mm.
overall a good feeling. And I felt like it was definitely something that I would recommend. If people are on the fence, if they're not sure, I would do it. I would highly recommend it. And then afterwards, I felt kind of a sense of relief, a sense of calm,
Mm.
um, and more grounded that this is something that I will overcome, and I can beat, and with the skills that you taught me and in our session, and just um, everything you imparted to me in the session. I felt like I just soaked it all in like a sponge.
That's great. And did you find value from listening to the recording beyond the session?
Yes, absolutely. I listened to the recording every day for, I don't know, a couple of months, and I felt like it was extremely helpful. And I also felt that even though it was repetitive because it's the same recording over and over, I still learned and gained more and more each time. It wasn't like, oh, okay, I know what's coming up or anything. It it helped me. It continued to help me
Sure.
through the process.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I find that that's a common response for people that, they say, oh, I feel like I'm going to get bored or, I don't want to listen to the same recording every single day. But, you're not the only one who has suggested that you hear different things. And I think it's very interesting. And it really speaks to the progress or the journey that you're taking because when you hear something or your subconscious really hears something during listening to the recording that you might not necessarily be ready to hear at that moment, you're learning and you're growing, as you had said, and then all of a sudden your mind is just ready to hear this next statement, and you hear something different that you hadn't noticed before about the recording.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's always a fascinating response, but it's a pretty common one that people will share. So thank you. When did we have our session? I didn't look to see. It was
I think
a
it
few
was in
months ago.
October. I
Okay.
think it was October.
Okay. So it's been a few months. So what would you say that has been the most significant thing that you've noticed since the session?
I think I'm calmer. I'm more relaxed. I'm in a better place with my thoughts, and just being able to calm myself and be ready. And my sleep has improved. It's not 100% like it
Sure.
was, but it has been improving. Um, it's getting better, and I feel more solid, I guess. Um, I don't know if that's the right word, but
That's a great,
I
I think it's a great description.
I feel more solid in knowing, who listening to it, knowing who I am, knowing that I can overcome this. I guess I feel more confident as well.
Sure.
And I'm getting there. It's a work in progress,
Yeah,
but it is working,
that's
and that's
great.
what's important.
That's great. Yeah, and I find that a lot of times, someone might come to me like you did with uh, problems with sleep, and then notice positive changes in other aspects of their life.
Yeah,
So that's
absolutely.
great that you feel like it seems like you're describing your coping skills being
Yes.
improved, in general. So that's great. That's great.
Yes.
All right. So, would you have any piece of advice for someone who might be considering making an appointment, but maybe they're on the fence?
Absolutely. Um, I would say if you're not sure and you're on the fence, I would do it in a
Mm,
heartbeat. I feel that it was that what I benefited, what I gained from it was immeasurable as far as it was on a different level. It's not something that the doctor can provide for me. It's not something that I mean, I can read and I can get information, but it's yet another layer in the healing process, I guess, as
sure.
far as, whatever the issue might be that you're struggling with. I feel that it's another layer, but it's a layer that you can't, you can't, you can't just go get. It's a layer that, mentally and emotionally and stuff that you're getting from someone that is helping you sift through whatever the madness of whatever you're going through. Um, but just adding that extra layer of helps create that confidence, helps create like it's like a scaffold, I guess is what I'm trying to
Mm,
say, and so it just reinforces on another
sure.
level and on a level that's probably the strongest because we know that our mind is capable of so many things. And I feel like that you drawing that out of me was probably the strongest part or the strongest piece of the puzzle for me.
Right, right.
So I would highly recommend it.
Thank you. Well, I think, like you were saying, I like the idea that it's a lot of layers. Um, I always think of the healing process, no matter what the issue is, whether it's physical or emotional. The healing process is not always linear,
Yes.
and so this idea of layers, I really like that analogy. Um, and one thing that I was thinking of when you were speaking was the process is really you are healing yourself, right? And I was acting as a guide to help you uncover the beliefs that were perhaps causing the issue that you were experiencing. But you were able to draw the conclusions. You were able to go back to past beliefs and events in your life, and I really was asking questions and acting as a guide to your subconscious. So um, that is me applauding you and your hard work. So that's wonderful. Anything else that you feel you'd like to share about your
Um,
experience?
no, I just, I feel like if you're not sure, you should bite the bullet and do it because it's going to be helpful on so many other
Yeah,
levels, not just, you're going to find, um, you're just going to find healing and you're just going to find so much more than you thought when you schedule a session. And when it was like, it was amazing. So I applaud you for your ability to help me heal. So,
well, I appreciate it. And I really love working with all of my clients, and you were a joy. I learned a lot about you and I got to know you a little bit better. And that's really, one of the best things about my job and what I do is to interact with people like you and, get to know people a little bit more. Well, I really, really am grateful and appreciative that you would take a couple minutes and chat with me and share your experience. And I do think even just speaking about the process and the transformation and the growth that you've experienced really helps it sink in more for each, each person as they speak about it. So I'm very grateful and thankful
Yeah, well,
for
I
your
am too.
time.
Trust me, I am too. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.